Maine has a problem, and the people in charge are counting on you to stay quiet about it. Taxes, housing, corruption, jobs, healthcare, the issues pile up while the headlines keep spinning. But two voices refuse to look away. The Angry Citizen, the CPS Punisher. Maine Matters is the podcast that doesn't flinch. Real talk, real accountability, no filters. The truth about your state starts here.
Hosted by the Angry Citizen and the CPS Punisher. We ain't here to play nice with the corrupt. This is for every Mainer who's had enough. From Berwick to Bangor, Augusta to the coast. The truth is rising, and the rot is getting exposed. In the pine tree state, they got that fresh air facade. But dig a little deeper, it's a house of cards. Prison bosses stealing 2.4 million from the state. Bribes and kickbacks while the inmates wait. Maine care fraud, 45 million in autism scams. Improper payments, Republicans raising alarms. EBT clones stealing benefits from the poor, while Augusta politicians keep asking for more. Cheryl Merrill sentence, but how many more free? The swamp and corrections running wild, you see? Then there's DHS, supposed to protect the kids, but Braxton Smith murdered in the system. Hid Chelsea killings, a team with 16 homes in the system. Failed by the state, now 2 more victims. May Supreme Court saying they terminated rights on hearsay. Drug tests never entered, but they took the kids away. DHS mom in the abuse case, oversight a drug page saying clean house, the whole damn place broke. Child welfare failures every week, a new death, while they traffic kids in suits holding their breath. And in Berwick they burned us down and locked the gate. Fire at Raleigh's run, 18 cats displaced. Town says dangerous, but won't let us in to save. Insurance denied, now they walk the land we paid. Federal lawsuit filed, wavy Berwick on deck. 14th Amendment violations, they showing no respect. Gravel pit coming 20 trucks a day through town. Residents fighting back while the board plays around. Zoning as a weapon, nuisance complaints for show. Retaliation for the podcast, they tried to take my daughter, yo. Nina Ann lost the CPS revenge for speaking truth, but the Punisher's here, and we got the proof. Maine matters, but the corruption don't. We see through the lies, we won't stay silent no more. Angry citizens spitting CPS Punisher, attacking, exposing the thieves in Augusta and the child snatchers in black. Rise up, man. Grab the Constitution tight, due process, property rights. We taking back the fight from the pines to the sea. The reckoning's here. Maine Matters dropping tropes. Lend us your ear. They deny access, they steal your kids, they fraud the funds, but we got the First Amendment. These words are guns. File the motions, drop the episodes, build the app strong. The CPS Punisher's here to right every wrong. No more dead kids, no more stolen homes, no more bribes in prisons or fraud in the domes. We the people, the angry ones who see time to drain the swamp in the state of Maine. This is Maine Matters with the Angry Citizen and the CPS Punisher. Download the app at cpspunisher.com. Follow the fight, share the truth, join the revolution. Because in Maine, the truth still matters. And we coming for the corrupt, one podcast at a time. Yeah. Maine Matters.
Yeah. All right.
Good stuff.
What's up, Dana? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy
From
Sunday.
Maine.
That's right. Because Maine matters, Dana. You know that?
That's what I'm told.
Yeah.
Matters to us anyway, since we live here.
Right. Well, it's kind of like you always say about the Constitution, or like your rights, man. It's like if this could happen to us here, then it can happen to you somewhere else. So
True.
I mean, I know that this is a show seemingly about Maine, but it's really a reflection off of every one of our states. Really,
True.
like it's not. So I hope that it doesn't, just because people see, oh, it's about Maine, let's watch it. Like hopefully people understand that, just because it's a Maine show doesn't mean that you can't watch it and get something from it. Because we're two pretty intelligent dudes, and I think we have some. Our brains work. I think most of the time. And
Well, the thing is that if we can find effective solutions for the problems in Maine, that transfers to other states. So
mm,
we're all in this together. Everyone in America is in the same boat and with the same problems in our states with corruption and uh, taxes and all the same problems that are here. They're in every other state as well.
I mean, if you were to take Maine and so let's say the top three things that make you like boil your blood about this state, what would be the top three? And if you don't even have a top three, what would be the top two? Or you know what I mean? What are the issues there
Yeah.
for you?
Well, I mean, taxes has to be at the top of the list because for a very rural state, our taxes are obscene, just obscene. Highest property tax rate in the country here in Maine. It's absolutely absurd. So taxes definitely has to be number one.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, and it goes right in hand with the overspending. I mean, our state Congress is just like insane as far as the money they spend.
Right.
We're a poor state, and we
Mhm.
spend money like it's just growing on trees, like we have just unlimited money to spend.
Mhm.
And we don't, man. We're not a wealthy state, not at all. So
Right. And
so
just
yeah,
because these guys, the legislators, want to spend the money doesn't mean that we want to, because there's no state money. There's no
right,
federal money.
right. It's
This is our
taxpayer money.
money, right?
Yeah,
So they all act like it's, oh, you're going to give me some state money. No, you're going to give me back money that you overcharged me for.
yeah,
So, no, like, don't ever forget that, people. That this is not, they're not giving you a gift.
yeah.
They're
It's
giving you
it's
something
critical.
back.
There
Right.
is no federal money. There is no
Mhm.
state money. It's taxpayer money. It's our freaking money that they've taken from us.
Mhm.
And the money that they haven't taken from us, if you look at our national debt in the United States, last I checked, $39 trillion, $39 trillion. So
Mm.
these people are just basically borrowing money in our name and then giving themselves raises and promotions and benefits. And I mean, it's disturbing, profoundly disturbing.
Right. And we'll give you citizens, we're not even going to give you this citizens of the state of Maine, but we're going to toy with the idea of maybe letting you have a $300 refund check. We'll
Yeah,
give you all
you
just
get
a
back
little
some of the
piece
money
here.
we stole from you.
Yeah.
Imagine if
Yeah.
someone
Yeah.
came up to you, put a gun in your face, took your money. Let's say you got
Right.
I don't know, $100 in your wallet. So they come
Oh,
up, they
wow.
stick a gun in your face, give me all your money. So you hand them the $100, and then next day, guy comes in the street and says, "Here, I'm going to give you back $10. What a
Right.
great guy I am."
Right. He's so kind. So kind, that gentleman.
Yep,
Dana,
you're
check it
like,
out,
you're
man.
welcome.
Check it out. In our chat right there. Now that you can see it and you can respond, do you see right
Yeah,
there? We have I don't even want to mess with the name. Tahir Khan from India,
Tahir
man.
Khan
Welcome.
from
Welcome, bud.
India.
Yeah,
Nice.
welcome, brother. Glad to have you here.
I heard it's
Uh,
hot in India.
ooh, it was hot here in Maine today, man. What was it, 80?
Well, for us, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
I like
hot
melting.
in India is like 120 or something like
Right,
that.
mild day. Yes, you subscribe, buddy. Thank you so much. Um, so yeah, Dana. So taxes. What else? Two more things.
Um, I mean, that's hard to. There's so many, right? So taxes, spending, and they go hand in hand. They tax us, then they spend more money than they have, then they tax us more to pay for the things that they are spending money on that they didn't have enough money to pay for already.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
a serious substance abuse problem in this
So that's
state.
your number two. That's your number two is substance abuse.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay. Yeah, it's,
Poverty,
it's bad here.
poverty.
Abuse and then poverty.
We're a very poor state, and
Right.
aging population, and there's not the high taxes strangle the economy. It's a business unfriendly climate. Businesses don't want to come to Maine. There's no incentive for them to do that. It's expensive to do business here. They get taxed. Um, it's a very rural state. So if you're going to put up a business somewhere, uh, there are 100 other ways to make money that are more reliable. So the
Mhm.
business economy here is it's atrocious, and we could change that if we wanted to, you know. But
Right. And then the thing that Maine does on top of that is they make it hard for the businesses as it is because of the tax rates. But then they're going to turn around as the consumer and say, hey, not only do we tax the shit out of this business for creating this product for you, but now you're going to pay an 8 to 10% tax on top of what they've already paid for
exactly.
that they've done. It's just asinine. And you wonder
Yep.
why people are going south now. You know what I mean? People
Yep.
wonder why
Yep.
the traffic no longer is going north. I actually, it's funny that you just said this because I worked on this piece over last week, and I think that every state can probably pretty much say that those three things are what is their probably concerns as well. Maybe not in that order, but
For
check
sure.
this out. Check this video out that I made right here.
Maine,
Let's see here.
the way life should have been. You cross the bridge on 95 and something shifts. The air changes. The world slows down. This is the land that built legends. Where Joshua Chamberlain held the line at Little Round Top and saved a nation. Where Stephen King dreamed up our darkest fears from a Victorian mansion on a quiet street. Where Paul Bunyan still stands tall in Bangor, watching over a city that once roared with industry. Where Belgrade lakes shimmer gold at sunset. Where the Nubble Lighthouse has guided sailors home for over a century. Where Katahdin rises above it all, from first light to last. But something happened to Maine. Funtown is silent now. The lobster boats rot in the harbor. The streets of Portland are lined with tents. And thousands of Maine families have been torn apart. Not by tragedy, but by a system that profits from their pain. The money keeps flowing. The budgets keep growing. And the people of Maine keep asking, what happened to the way life should have been? Maine is crashing. And just like that B-24 that went down over Katahdin, nobody is coming to pull it out of the wreckage. Maine's Child Protective Services has been breaking apart families at a concerning level. And no one is paying attention. Until it's too late. Maine. We are more than too late. We have destroyed our next generation by kidnapping the very children who were meant to carry the Maine heritage forward. The children of lobstermen and loggers, of farmers and fishermen, of teachers and tradespeople. Gone. Ripped from the families that built this state.
I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, does that sizes it up right there, right?
That's pretty much how it is.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that every state can actually attest to those are the things that those are the things that are happening in all these communities. We're losing. I mean, how many states do you hear daily that there's no young people in these states? So first of all, where the hell are all the young people? Because every state.
Most.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Well, I interrupted you, but most children, young people that grow up here in Maine want to leave. This is just a very, very common thing where they're saying, as soon as I can, get out, as soon as I graduate from high school and head off to college, I'm leaving Maine. I'm going somewhere else. It's very, very common. They perceive, rightfully or not, that there are not the levels of opportunity here in Maine for lucrative careers and a good way of life because of the high taxes and poverty and it's a very rural state. So these challenges make it so that people feel like if they stay here, they're missing out. and we lose a lot of our youth when they graduate and when they become adults. They leave, they go elsewhere.
I know I was that way when I graduated from high school. I never thought that I would come back, but there is something that pulls you back to Maine. I really do believe
Yeah.
that. I don't know if it's hope. I don't know if it's you know what I mean? Because I can remember my childhoods of going up to camp, and that was, I can't really see that. What happens at the campground stays at the campground, but like those memories of being in the lake and having the family together, and those pieces aren't there anymore when we've come to adulthood. There's no more grandparents, there's no more family lineage, there's no more any of this stuff. So going up to camp, like they used to say and used to do, that's not there anymore. Like there's no,
For
it's just, it sucks.
for yeah
Making you so many
for a
decisions.
lot of people, that's absolutely true. For a lot of people, it's absolutely true. And if they perceive there's better opportunities somewhere else, you can go to another state and make twice as much money. um that's a hard thing to turn down. It's hard to say, oh well, I'll stay here because I love the state. So I mean, I
Right.
wasn't born in Maine. I came here when I was in the sixth grade.
Mhm.
um and when I came here for the first time, I loved the state, and I still love it. I love everything about it. I've been here for most of my life. Worked for LL Bean. I walked the knife edge at Katahdin. Those of you who don't know what that is, look it up. Katahdin knife edge. It's not for the faint of heart. I've swum in Moosehead Lake. Uh, I've been to there's a amazing area on the coast in Bar Harbor, um, called Thunder Hole. I've worked in
Leave
Bar
that one
Harbor.
alone.
Um, I love this state with all my heart, and this is my home. I'm not going anywhere. This is where I die. This is the hill on which I die. So you're gonna have to drag me out of here, kicking and screaming, or bury me.
Uh, it's just this shame. I mean, I'm pretty sure they don't call us vacation land anymore. And I don't know if you. Let me see if I. Oh no, I didn't.
I
I
just want
didn't.
to say we still have a very healthy following of people. If you look on 95 on in the summertime, or you watch the road down to Bar Harbor, uh, there's a lot of people that still come to Maine for vacations. So
Right.
it's
You know. There's a lot of things that those highways show, Dana, and what the the 95 will show you is that there's a huge, huge, huge problem with drugs coming into the state.
that is
Um,
true.
and it's a gateway for drugs to come into this state. And I mean, it goes right up 95, goes right up the center of this son of a bitch. And these guys can stop off at each level and drop their drugs off and ruin these communities. I know that the fentanyl crisis has ruined the lobstering community. I know that it's ruined uh, a lot of hard laboring job communities in the state of Maine. The jobs that you used to say, "Are you from Maine?" and people would instantly be like, "What are you, a fisherman? Are you a logger? Like you were a farm boy. Like you were whatever the jobs that you were referred to as wasn't working as an creator for for a podcast. It was, oh, you want to live in Maine, you must be out in the fields, or you must be cutting wood, or things like that. And the fentanyl epidemic is
It's bad.
it is, and I look at it like a double-edged sword, man. I look at it just like that because without it, some of these guys can't function because the pharmaceutical companies have taken away any resources for them to get pain relief. So they've had to turn to the streets, or they took them off of their pain meds and they just left them to rot and be sick and all of that. So this is my opinion. The state of Maine hasn't done enough all the way around for this epidemic at all. And I got a video, Dana, that I want to put on here that I created to kind of explain to everybody what the hell is going on here. So let's take a look at this.
Every week, cars leave Lawrence, Massachusetts, loaded with fentanyl, meth, and cocaine. They drive north on Interstate 95. They stop in Waldo County. They stop in Bangor. They stop in the small towns of Penobscot and Aroostook. The cash rides south. The bodies stay in Maine. This is not theory. This is the pipeline. Federal prosecutors have said it out loud for years. Lawrence is a regional hub for fentanyl distribution into New Hampshire and Maine. Dominican networks with cartel supply lines cut the product,
Lawrence
package
is
it, and run
approximately
it north.
30
In
minutes
just
from my
one
house.
2024 case, 9 men from the Boston-Lawrence area were charged with moving 10 kilograms of fentanyl into Waldo County alone. 10 kilograms. Enough to kill every man, woman, and child in several Maine counties. In 2024 and 2025, the pattern never stopped. The De Leon brothers ran product from Dorchester and Boston straight into the Bangor area. Trinitarios gang members from Lawrence traveled into Maine to sell fentanyl, committed home invasions, and fired on police during high-speed chases. Another ring based in Lowell and Lawrence moved at least 20 kilograms of fentanyl into New Hampshire and Maine using social media and runners. The drugs keep coming. The overdoses keep climbing. The funerals keep happening. And what follows the pipeline? Corruption of the system that is supposed to stop it. Open borders and failed federal interdiction let Mexican cartels flood the Northeast with cheap, pure poison. Sanctuary policies and soft charging decisions in Massachusetts create safe operating zones for the networks. Local Maine agencies make bust after bust, yet the supply never dries up because the source cities are never truly choked off. When gang violence spikes in Maine because Trinitarios claim territory, officials act surprised. They should not be. The pipeline has been public knowledge for a decade. This is not just a drug problem. This is a failure to secure the basic rights of life, liberty, and property for every Maine family. Children lose parents. Parents lose children. Small-town businesses bleed from property crime driven by addiction. Rural communities become distribution nodes while the real organizers stay in Lawrence and drive home with the cash. Every elected official who knows this corridor exists and still treats it like background noise is complicit in the body count. Maine matters. We will not look away. Demand real interdiction at the source. Demand federal prosecutors treat every kilogram moving north as the death sentence it is. Demand that local law enforcement and state leadership stop pretending this is someone else's problem. The Constitution does not require us to accept a permanent, open pipeline of poison into our communities. It requires the opposite. Close the pipeline. Protect the people. No more excuses. And then there are the ones fighting it every single day. Local law enforcement underfunded, understaffed, without backup from Augusta showing up anyway. They make the arrests. They respond to the overdoses. They knock on the doors. They do it again the next day and the day after that. But they are drowning. Without real support from Maine's legislators, without resources, without relief, the weight of this war lands entirely on the men and women wearing the badge in your town. That kind of sustained trauma has a cost. Officers absorbing the full force of the fentanyl crisis, the bodies, the grieving families, the revolving door of addiction, run the very real risk of becoming casualties themselves, overcome by the pain, the hopelessness, the grinding depression of fighting a war that Augusta refuses to fully engage. Maine's legislators expect maximum results from local departments while providing minimum support. So hear this clearly. If the people charged with defending this community against the fentanyl crisis are left to break under its weight, the defenders of the crisis become the crisis. Augusta needs to listen before it is too late. And then there are the children, the ones quietly disappearing from their homes, not because their parents don't love them, because their parents are sick. Addiction is a disease. And in Maine, the response to that disease is too often a caseworker at the door and a car driving away with your kids in it. Augusta turns its back. CPS follows a checklist. And families already on their knees get buried. Maine families are human. They are imperfect. They are struggling under the weight of a crisis that the state helped create by ignoring the pipeline for a decade. They do not deserve to be badgered, threatened, and dismantled by a system that was supposed to help them. When you take a parent's children, you take everything. You take the reason to fight. You take the reason to get clean. You take the reason to wake up tomorrow. And then you act confused when the overdose numbers keep climbing. Maine has a choice. You can keep punishing addicts into deeper despair, or you can give them something to live for, support, resources, their families. The research is not complicated. Parents in recovery need stability, not fear, connection, not isolation, hope, not a courtroom. Augusta, you cannot fix a crisis you refuse to look at. Maine families are not a problem to be managed. They are people to be saved. Smarten up before another child grows up without a parent, before another parent dies without their child. The clock is running. This last part is for you, the citizen, the one who calls Maine home. Augusta has a job. They are supposed to monitor, legislate, and produce remedies that serve the people under Maine's Constitution and its laws. That is the contract, and they have broken it. But here is what we have to reckon with. We handed them that power, not intentionally, not knowingly, but through silence, through absence, through the belief that someone else was handling it. We gave it away, and we can take it back. Come November, your yard will be cluttered with cheap signs, catchy slogans, a name you don't know, attached to a face you'll never see again after Election Day, asking for your support so they can pursue their agenda. That is the game. And the only way to beat it is to show up louder than the signs. We are Maine's authority, not them. Their job, every single one of them, is to serve the citizens and guests of this state. As we demand, our voice will be heard. Our attendance will be noted. And this state will be free from the corruption that has taken root while we looked away. Every person applying for a position of service in this state needs to understand one thing clearly. We, the people of Maine, are the controlling body. Make everyone around you aware. Citizens and servants of Maine alike are under attack from a governing body that sees us as pawns, that looks at our families as line items, that measures our lives against financial growth and decides we come second. That ends now. No more, no way, never again. We will not comply with a system whose interests stop at its own wallet. We will not support leaders who treat the family, the most sacred and irreplaceable unit in this state, as a problem to be managed. Our founding fathers did not build this country so that the people would one day stand by while their unalienable rights were quietly dismantled. Every American, regardless of how they live, where they come from, or what they are fighting through, deserves to live under those rights. All of us, every single one. So the next time you see someone struggling, before you call 911 and send them into a system designed to consume them, try something else. Reach out, know them, be the support that the state refuses to be. Because that connection, that human decision to help instead of report, is the thing that actually saves lives. Citizens of Maine, wake up, stand up, lead. The way life should be is not just a motto on a license plate. It is a promise we make to each other, and it is time we kept it. Maine matters. We, the people, are in control.
Yeah. So thoughts, Dana?
It's good stuff. I had a storage unit, and when it was last year, I think, in the summertime,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to my storage unit, and I noticed that there were some people basically living in a storage container
Mm.
behind me. I looked over and I saw this dog, and I was like, and I noticed the container was open and the dog was like leashed.
Hmm.
So I went over and I talked to them, and I was, I introduced myself and I asked them their names. There's a man and a woman, and it was funny. The man said, you know, he said it's amazing that you're treating me this way, because he had been, having typically the attitude of people toward people who are homeless is not very friendly. And he
Right.
had had a couple of experiences with people very recently that had not been very kind to him. And I actually went to the store. I got him some water and some ice, uh, and brought him that. And I asked them if they needed anything, and they said no. That, they were all set or whatever. But I'm thinking, if we would help each other as um, enthusiastically as we are ready to condemn each other, and like you said,
Hmm.
instead of calling 911, maybe think about, you know, what's this person going through? What's their life situation? What
Hmm.
trials and tribulations are they facing? That's that have put them in this situation. Um, everyone's got a story to tell. Everyone's got problems, and we all make mistakes. So
Hmm. Yeah, it's too many people too often. You see, I see this a lot. Up here, I mean, or down here, I guess from you. But like people will see someone asleep in the car at Walmart, and instead of going to knock on the window and say, "Hey, are you okay?" They're calling 911,
right.
and these people are just taking a nap. Maybe it is because they're homeless or they had no, whatever. And now the police come. Now they're getting arrested because maybe they are an addict and they got something, their paraphernalia's out or whatever, and they were
Hmm.
already on the edge, and now you just kicked them over when you could have just gone over there yourself, knocked on the window, and, "Hey, buddy, are you okay? I just checking on you, man." Like, that's it. You didn't need to call the cops on these people. If you knocked on the window and they didn't answer, then yes, call 911, get them help. Maybe you break the window and give them Narcan if you have it, or whatever you got to do to get these people out of what they are. But don't just automatically assume that they're bad people, call 911 and send them down further into this hole that they're already in.
Yeah.
Like you said, we don't know what people are going through in their life. And I'm convinced, and I say this a lot, that people, CPS is creating, not only in this state, but in every state, CPS is creating these tent cities, because when you go out and if you did the statistics at these homeless camps, guarantee you CPS came and took their kids. They lost their hope. They went to drugs. They lost everything. Now here they are, holding on for whatever little bit that they
For
have
sure.
left, because it goes away fast. Once they take your hope and your love away from you, the rest of it just falls right the hell out from
Yeah.
underneath
Yeah. It's really easy to spiral at
you,
that point.
right?
Yep.
Because you don't care about anything anymore. There's no more caring, and no one cares about you. You're a piece of shit now. Because first of all, you lost your kids. So now everybody just looks at you like you are a worthless piece of scum.
Yep.
And that's one of my things that I've been wanting to change since I've been in this movement, is we have to change the stigma. Because that's not true. 98% of us that have been involved in these situations aren't bad people. We loved our
Right.
kids. We didn't do anything wrong towards our kids, but this is the image that it's taking. And then you lose everything. Like, once you've just been scorned, you've been ridiculed, you've been destroyed, your family hates you, you don't have your kids, it's all your fault, blah 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 blah. So the last thing you need is some asshole being like, "Oh, call the cops because this guy's over here taking a friggin' nap because he's been up for 3 fucking days because he has nowhere to go." And they're just bouncing around from
Yep.
parking lot to parking lot as long as they can to get some shut eye until someone kicks them out of that. Some
Yeah.
compassion
And
goes a long way.
that's something that's always really bothered me about the entire situation of homelessness, is when people talk about the verbiage they're using when they're like trying to make homeless people go away. And it's like, we're like in Bangor, there's a lot of homeless people,
Mm,
and they talk about there's a place down on the river where the railroad tracks um, go by, and they tend to kind of congregate there. And at one point, there was like a like a tent city there that had
Yeah.
popped. And I'm trying to remember the word they used to describe going down and basically just like kicking everyone out. And I said,
Uh,
where are these people supposed to go? Like, they, where do you want these people to go? And I understand it's a problem. And, there are unfortunately some homeless people who do cause problems. A lot of the downtown businesses in Bangor have problems with people leaving needles on the ground.
now,
And
see,
uh,
I have a problem with that.
with what?
With
Leaving
them
needles
leaving
on the ground?
needles on the ground. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think we all do. But you can't condemn an entire group of people based on
Right.
the actions of a few of them. And you can't say, well, because some of the homeless people will be urinating or defecating or in public or potentially causing problems with some of the downtown businesses. That means that all homeless people are bad people, and
Right.
and people don't want to see homeless people because it's uncomfortable. It bothers them, makes them
Right.
uncomfortable. But they're still human beings, and um, a lot of people judging homeless people for potentially having some kind of substance abuse issue are look how many people are substance abusers that aren't homeless people,
Right.
right? Hollywood celebrities,
Yeah.
that are wealthy people that are substance abusers. So
Mhm.
the homeless issue and the other issues shouldn't be interlocked, and we shouldn't think that you can go and you can disperse them, and that's just a silly thing because they don't disappear. They just go somewhere else because
Right.
they have to. They're human beings. They have to be somewhere,
Mhm.
and it's not a good way to think of the situation. It's not a good way to address it.
Right. And it's just, it sucks. It sucks because you're not helping lift these people up in any, because, so I watched this thing on, Jesus Christ, I don't remember who it was. It was, I think it was Denzel Washington was hosting it. Um, and it was about addicts. And did you know that you'll only know 7% of the people that are addicts in your world? Out of all the people that are addicts, you'll only know about 7% of them. 93% of addicts stay hidden. No one knows. No
Sure.
one know, like no one has a clue. But like your neighbor that's sitting there ridiculing the guy that's shooting up heroin down the street could be doing the same damn thing in his house. You just
Yep.
don't know about it because he's
Yep.
got a house and he's got a, he's able to cover up his
Yeah.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
don't ever know who and what. And I'll never forget one time I went to I was getting methadone at the time, and my mother had to come with me for to be like a sponsor, and when she walked in there, she was amazed at the amount of people. She ran Cumberland Farms down here in North Berwick.
Hmm.
She was shocked and amazed at the number of people that she knew that
Hmm.
was there getting methadone that you would
Yeah.
have never have guessed. She would
Yeah.
have never in a million years thought that they were addicts or whatever. I mean, I was there for the pain thing, but she was like, and she, oh my God, I know him. And I'm like, no, you got to shut up. You can't be in here, like pointing these people out. It's supposed to be confidential and all that. But she was just shocked by it. So, proceed with caution when you're talking shit about these people, because it could be your brother or your mother that are the same,
and
and
it's not that hard to become addicted, and
no,
the drug companies during the entire oxycodone fiasco, drug companies paid doctors to prescribe oxycodone to patients
right.
knowing it was highly addictive.
Yeah,
uh, and these were people who were just normal people. They were athletes and celebrities and
that was me.
mothers and fathers, and
Yeah,
they just did what the doctor told them because they're
that's it.
unfortunately under that guise of medical professionals. I trust doctors, and doctors are not trustworthy in a general sense. I do not trust doctors. I don't distrust all of them, but I do not simply trust them blindly and with good reason. And if you investigated this, you would find out. But these people just did what they were told. Doctor said, "Hey, you're in pain. Let me write you a prescription. oxycodone, and you start taking it, and the next thing you know, you have this burning, overwhelming desire to
Yeah.
continue taking it. And we're human beings. We're subject to these urges. It's really, really easy to become addicted, and to judge someone harshly for that is grossly unfair.
It's that's what happened to me. I broke my back when I was 16 playing football. The old high school football story here. But
Hmm.
I had broken my lower back, and then my tailbone, and I was put
Wow,
on. Yeah, that was not a good year and a half.
dude.
But I was put on 8 Oxy 80s a day at 16 years old. Eight
Wow.
Oxy 80s, and then prescribed another 10 Perk 30s. Now I didn't even know what the 10 Perk 30s were. I thought they were muscle relaxers or whatever. So I just
Uh-huh.
threw those in the cabinet because I don't those weren't my things. I didn't like muscle relaxers or whatever. So I was on that for 10 years, dude. 10
Wow,
freaking
that's
years.
crazy.
And one day I went into the doctors and they said, "All right, how's your pain, Dan?" And for that amount of stuff, I was great. I wasn't even taking a quarter of that at that point now because
Yeah.
I was realizing but what I didn't realize is that I was an addict. I just thought that the
Of course.
medicine was too powerful or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
Uh-huh.
upset my stomach or whatever. I didn't realize when that day I went in there after 10 years of being on the shit and they said, "Here's some ibuprofen 800s," that I was going to turn into a deathly ill person.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I was having opiate withdrawals
Yeah. That's
because they don't
crazy.
tell you that shit. Like they don't tell you that, or they didn't back then. The more they can prescribe, the more money they were getting, or vacations, or whatever. And they did that to so many people. And the problem is now you've left though these community of people that are in excruciating pain that now can't function because they don't have what they need to function. And there's lies the problem. It's a really sick and sucky conundrum to be in, but we're in it.
Yep.
You know, and every state's having that same problem.
Yep.
So that's what I got to say about this stuff in the state of Maine. And I would, if anybody out there is legislators or whatever, you guys really need to start doing your due diligence in helping these people be able to get themselves back into a societal realm that they can handle, maintain, and be a functioning person in, without the bullshit, without being looked at as a junkie, without looked at as a bad person because you lost your parent, you know what I mean? All of these things, the stigma has to change.
Yep.
When the
Agree.
stigma changes, then we can change the other things that go with it. But that first thing that needs to happen is that needs to happen, man.
I agree.
So that's what I want to say about all of that. Um, you know, uh, so if you guys know anybody that's an addict, that's whatever, instead of shunning them and discharging them from your life, maybe be a part of their life, and maybe you can be the one that saves their life. Um, help them out. Do whatever you can. Before you call the cops, just think about that. Think about what you're doing, what you possibly could be doing to someone by calling the cops instead of just making sure they're okay, or mind your own fucking business.
There you
Like
go.
there's that factor. But what do you got, Dana? You got anything, any sort of main matters that you wanted to discuss this week?
No, I think we've covered it pretty well.
That's where we're at.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we got Gunner coming up here in 8 minutes. So, this is, hey, what's up, everybody? I didn't even realize this. That's right, Fostering, our man right there, Fostering Reality. Make sure you guys go to his YouTube channel, check out his stuff. His stuff is so freaking important. I can't even make you realize how important the stuff that he's putting out. Dana, you know who he is. That's our friend Derek. But you guys need to look at his stuff. Go to his YouTube channel, go to his Facebook, go to all of his things, because the stuff he's putting out about CPS, nobody's talking about. Nobody's paying attention to. And you need to go there and see his stuff before it's gone. We got Jen Brabson's out there talking to us. What's up, Jen? Thanks for coming out, seeing us. She's dealing with a bunch of shit herself. I don't even know how she floats. Dr. Death, man, another one. Facts Over Lies, another one. I mean, all these people that are here, we thank you guys for your support and coming out and being with us. but every one of you guys are so important, and you're all dealing with the same thing, you know. So the biggest thing that we can be is here for each other, you know. And that's the community that we're trying to build, you know. Wow, man, look at these. Do you reading all these comments, man?
I am.
Wow. So our buddy Fostering, man, he was in the system, and I can't even. It disturbs me so much because he's becoming a good friend of mine. It disturbs me so much how terrible he was treated. Oh. Ooh, I wasn't expecting that. I can't even. No. He was just treated so bad.
Did you read this one?
People.
Check this out.
Oh my God.
Really sorry
Death,
that this happened to you, Dr. Death. It sucks. It sucks. That's why we're here, man. That's what we're working for. We need more awareness. We need more involvement. We need more people to get on board with, you know, making our voices heard and letting all the people that are in charge, so to speak, know that we're paying attention and we're going to hold them accountable. That's how we win. You know, it's going to be a hard road, but that's what we got to do. I guess we lost Darren. All right. Well, Darren, if you're out there.
Well, Dana.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to the viewers, thank you all for watching. We appreciate you very much, and you know, stay with us. We're going to be back next week, Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, for another version of Maine Matters, another edition of Maine Matters. Don't forget to check out Darren, CPS Punisher. You go to
always
YouTube,
look at me.
CPS Breaking News, and I'll be here with Darren and Tiffany on Thursday night with Tiff and the Punisher, and joined by the Angry Citizen. And Darren, I got something in the mail.
Oh, what'd you get, buddy?
You want to see this? Oh, check this out. This was sent to me from a mysterious anonymous person, Tiffany.
Oh, hell yeah. How badass is that, right? That is great, man. Oh, wow. That is freaking awesome. That is so cool. She's so awesome, man.
There you go, bro. The Angry Citizen flag.
Wow,
right there,
that
folks.
Is freaking awesome.
Isn't that
so cool.
It's badass.
That is, dude.
I showed it to my son's mother. She just shook her head. She was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this."
That's freaking awesome. That is so
Love
cool.
it.
Tiff's awesome. Tiff's so great.
She is awesome.
Yep. I just had the song I was going to end on here. There it is. All right, everybody. Make sure you stay tuned for Gunham for CPS. He's coming on. He's got a lot of good stuff for us. And this one here that I'm leaving with, this is our boy Derek. So all of you, have a good night, and take care.
Take care.
Thoughts are gone, thoughts don't care. Ghosts in my head, thoughts that tear. F941239 branded on my file before I was 5 years clear. They all said the same shit. Better not tell, kid, it'll get way worse in here. Even the real kids whispering threats while their parents steer. Born in a folder, no crib, just a case number and a hearing date. Pills crushed in my juice, respiratory waves turning toddlers into a court case. F943 anxiety, F90 poesio separation ink they used to label me. Now those same codes turned into calibers, letters load the AR-15. 5156 for the panic attacks, 9 for the snakes, 223 for the mess they made. Leave me alone. This is perfect Christian home. Still feel your husband's hands on my neck. Leave me alone. Night shift worker, keys rattling while you're proud of heart. Leave me alone. Caseworker with the crocodile tears. You got paid while I starved through it all. Starved through it all. We the invisibles, aged out the system. No feelings left, just facts and mathematics. Hypervigilant, heart rate, flat rifle fluent, pistol fully automatic. Grown now, crying for mama, think reunification real. Level 2, bounce like trash, learning roles in every house they make you feel. Level 3, chameleon bag, never unpacked, visible just enough to eat. Level gray, master read a lie in the blink, route around rules in the street. Level 5, invisible state, on ghost file too thick for any worker to read. Sleeping fragments, exits mapped, made it out so low they know you a different breed. We the invisibles, age out the system, no feelings left, just facts and mathematics. Hypervigilant, heart rate flat, rifle fluent, pistol fully automatic. Grown now, pulling up, packing. Only lesson we kept is right from wrong. Now wrong, get it corrected. 30 round hymns in a real dark song. F94 through a 5 pop 6. F93 to a full auto switch. F94 to reactive. That's why the AR twitch. 9 millis for the snakes that smile in your face. 223s for the nights they said this hurts me more while they finish the chase. Every code they roll, dirty caliber. Every lobby came around. Every better not tell turned into a reason. We outside right now. Seen kids get walked out the back at 3 a.m. Staff pockets fat, no sound. One phone call file closed, another invisible. Never found. They pray we don't D-lock forever or read the barrel in despair. But the ones who survive remember every smell, every room, every stare. Thoughts are gone, thoughts aren't care. Ghost in my head, thoughts that tear. Way the invisible. Face down, fully loaded. No fear, strapped heavy, heart on zero. Just a pulse and a plan. Right from wrong is all we know. And wrong fin to meet the whole fam. Pulling up quiet, windows down. 30 round lullaby. Invoice for every tear. Every touch, every read better not tell. This is the correction. Pred's gone dead. 2, 2, 3, good night.
Maine has a problem, and the people in charge are counting on you to stay quiet about it. Taxes, housing, corruption, jobs, healthcare, the issues pile up while the headlines keep spinning. But two voices refuse to look away. The Angry Citizen, the CPS Punisher. Maine Matters is the podcast that doesn't flinch. Real talk, real accountability, no filters. The truth about your state starts here.